Hi everyone, welcome to deepSPEAK. I'm Michael and this is Barbara. Phase 1 we talked about Chinese medicine's perspective on health. Now we're going to talk about gut health and its effect on overall health. I know you talk about the three brains. I'm really interested in hearing about that.
Well, look, the three brains, it's fantastic. The three brains are really our three information centres, and we're talking about the mind, the heart, and the gastrointestinal system. And so when we're talking about digestive health, we're actually talking about the relationship and the interrelationship between those three and how they actually communicate.
Wow, I can't believe they're related.
They're completely related.
Okay,
and now there's so much, Chinese medicine's understood this for a long time, but now there's a lot of scientific evidence around the relationship between the mind and the gut. It's a superhighway basically, and there's this communication going on between these two systems in our body that actually impact on our gut health and therefore on, our general health, like our sleep, our weight, how we feel emotionally, psychologically, and it's really, really critical to understand that.
So you'd be using things like if you had someone come in with gut health, you'd be looking at their two other brains.
I'm definitely looking at those two other brains, and so I'm looking at what's going on in the heart and what's going on in the mind, and actually seeing how those things might be influencing gut health. So if you've got a lot of stress, in your life, and most of us, are under stress, and stress can be a good thing, but not if it's an ongoing thing, then that will actually influence basically our gut. So in Chinese medicine, we call the spleen the palace of thought.
Wow.
Which I really love, because what it's saying really is that, when we use our minds a lot, it actually tends to weaken the integrity of our gut.
Wow.
And so that's why actually having a stillness or a conscious breath practice is really critical.
Or yoga, meditation. Wow. Because if we settle the brain, we settle the gut.
Yes, we can really work and settle the gut.
Wow.
Because people come to me and say, oh look, I eat a really great diet, I eat organic food.
Yeah, we hear a lot of that.
Yeah.
But they're not dealing with their mind.
They're not dealing with the mind.
Okay.
And so we're looking at what's going on in the mind basically, and how can we actually bring some stillness into that area, and therefore really improve the integrity of the gut as well.
Sure, because I know in Ayurveda they talk about eating when you're not angry and eating when you're relaxed and conscious eating. So I guess that's what you're talking about in Chinese medicine as well. And I'm curious about the heart connection with the gut.
Yeah, so basically the heart connection is really important because, it's that kind of information system. So just what you were saying, Michael, if you're feeling very emotional or you're feeling unstable and you're actually eating, then that actually impacts on the way that food's digested into your system. So it's actually about, how do we work with the heart as well to make sure that we've got that stable base. We all go through a range of emotions, but if we are eating when we're angry or when we're sad, then that...
Well, it can become a toxin. That's what...
does.
Right.
Yes,
so what you're saying is, the takeaway for the viewers is that if we look after our mind through practices of relaxation, meditation, yoga, whatever that may be, if we look after and keep our emotions in check by actually having a space to experience them, then that has a positive effect on our gut. That's the takeaway.
It is, and the other thing that's really important, I think, in this is that we talk a lot about food and nutrition, but we don't look at perhaps our earlier patterns around food, because I know that, a lot of people say, look, I can't lose weight. And it's not to do so much with eating, but it's maybe to do with people's emotional and psychological state, and maybe how food was used, in their early childhood. We often use food to kind of repress our emotions or to control our emotions, and we don't realise it's not a conscious thing.
So in a session with you, you really are asking about people's biography as well as their biology.
Absolutely.
And you could use a range of treatments, be it acupuncture, moxibustion, cupping, finger trigger point, and dietary and lifestyle and advice.
Absolutely. There's a whole range of tools there, but it's getting people to get that self-awareness, because it's through that self-awareness that you become empowered and you can change.
And that's what it's about.
Yes.
So the next video we're going to talk about how to figure out and how important it is to understand your constitutional type. Thanks, Barbara.